Okay. So are both of you ladies familiar with my journey? And both of you know about my journey as a whole?
Yeah, I actually saw you on the Today Show years ago. How many years ago was that? Like two?
Almost 2, yes. It'll be
Yeah.
almost 2 years.
I was home for the holidays, I think, or I was home for something, and I saw me and my mom saw you. We were like, she looks great. And then just recently, like I told you on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
um, my friend messaged me because I was complaining about my weight and things and just, feeling stuck and feeling heavy. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, I think you need a coach. Remember I told you I went through a coach, and she told me, and she sent me your information.
Information. Yeah, she ended up messaging me, I believe yesterday, and I was like, oh, okay. Then I remembered. I was like, okay, I know exactly who it is. So I do
Yeah.
appreciate that. I definitely do appreciate you joining. Tasha, are you familiar with my journey? You are, yeah.
Yes, I found you through the YouTube algorithm. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always um, looking at people's journeys to get inspiration and some
Mm-hmm.
ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So I always look at weight loss stories. So I came across yours, and I really liked your energy,
Thank you.
and you look good. So I was like, yeah. So I started
Thanks.
following you on Facebook and Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you. Now, I want to ask you guys a couple of questions, if you guys don't mind sharing, because everyone that's in here, well, the two of you that are in here right now, and everyone that's going to receive this recording is on a journey or has been on a journey or has tried a journey. So I was hoping that you ladies could at least share a little bit about your struggles with your journey, if you don't mind.
okay, I'll go.
Okay, awesome.
So I started my journey when I was a teenager, and I started doing restriction, like starving and exercising.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I lost 64 pounds like real fast, like within like 3 months. It was gone because I wasn't eating, and I was just working myself out. And I gained the weight back because I went away to school, and I gained the weight back really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, it was like um, from the restricting and turning into binge eating. And that's where I've been at for years. And I've been trying to lose weight for a while. And my daughter was like in pre-K. And I
Mm-hmm.
started getting back spasms just from walking and bending over. Like I would throw my back out and be down. She was a little kid, so I was like 360 pounds then. And
Okay.
that gave me I guess a little motivation for a little bit. So I
Mm-hmm.
got a little weight off, and then because I started having like health issues like pseudotumor cerebri, like the pressure in the head, it was
Mm-hmm.
like always based on your weight. So I got like 50 pounds off,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got stuck in like a binge eating cycle and losing weight and the yo-yoing. And about last year, I got a relationship. It was unhealthy. It was toxic. And I was in like a really big, around like November, I started to come out of this really big binge eating, and I got myself into therapy in
Mm-hmm.
January after, because I left him last April.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a break off from dating, then I get myself into some therapy because I
Mm-hmm.
started identifying my triggers. I'm looking at your syllabus, and I was just so overwhelmed with things and the past and stuff. So I said, I need to get myself into some therapy. And I've been in therapy since January, and I'm in a better space, more stability now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm at now. I'm losing weight, I'm exercising. Um, I still fall off though, and I need to work on like the inner self-talk
Mm-hmm.
and balancing the mind and body. That's the stage I'm at now.
Yes.
Detaching and rewrite my story. So all of that. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna go and dive deep into all of those. So you're in the right place at the right time. So
Yes.
what about you, Miss? Am I pronouncing your name right, Jovanda?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. What about you?
A little similar to Tasha, like when she mentioned binge eating, that really put like a label on where I've been and where I'm at. It's
Mm-hmm.
always like I've always been like like compared to my friends, I've always been like the bigger friend, the thicker friend, and that didn't bother me. But at one point, it just started getting out of control. Um, and I've always, just as a woman and being around other Black moms, just always thinking about weight, always trying to control it, but never really getting control of it. And there would be like times where I would maybe for like a month or two, maybe 3 months, stay really consistent. But
Yeah.
that is far between. And right now, my issue is consistency. And that's why I loved your syllabus so much, because it wasn't necessarily telling me like we weren't going to start off like what to eat and what to do, because it's like we all know
Exactly.
yes, but it's something deeper, and it's something deeper, and just belief in myself. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. So I know I was talking to someone, just kind of spiritually, and they were just saying like the metaphysical meaning of obesity, like deeper than the physical, is like you're believing a lot of lies, and it piles onto your body. So I just that stuck with me, and I was like, I just need to break through with my belief system in myself, and I know I can do it because I have the knowledge of what to do. It's just sticking to it.
Exactly. Which was one of my main, I don't like to call it problems or issues, because we put a lot of labels on things, but it was something that I definitely struggled with. I had tried everything in the book, and I have had results off of a lot of different things, but I couldn't stick to it. And I knew in 2016 that it was so much more than the diet portion of it. I needed to dive a little bit deeper and really get aligned with not just my body, but my mental state and my spiritual state. And it's real sad, because mainstream like diet culture is all about showing you what to eat and how to work out. And if they really would address the true issues that people deal with first and foremost, even with nutritionists and going to your doctors and stuff, they like overlook all of that aspect. They're just like, well, lose weight, and they call you obese, and they're putting all these labels on things, but they're not looking into the deeper situations. And I feel like a lot of our issues with our health and stuff like that would be resolved if people really understood or even took the time to assist people with the mental aspect of it. So that's what we're going to be going over a lot of today. Even with me, when I work with my clients, I don't schedule really weigh-ins like that. I don't, unless they choose to. That's definitely up to them. I believe in free will and having that ability. But I teach my clients how to love themselves right now in this moment, and how to overcome barriers and triggers, and building and creating new relationships with food, which is way more important than the size and everything like that. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're going to the hospital and they're telling you this is how much you should weigh for your height, is just for them to put you in this little box, and to make you feel even less than, as if you're not feeling, great about it, bad enough already. So I have helped my clients look outside the box and really start thinking about different aspects of their journey, because I know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, once I did, I was able to create that sustainability. Now, did the scale go, up a little bit and down a little bit and up and down? Yeah, but it never touched near 80, 100, 30, 40, 50 pounds as it would before. I would lose, up to 90 pounds and gain it all back and then some. And I have never gone back to that situation. And it's been 6 years for me now. So now I dedicate my time to making sure that I am doing the best that I can to provide, women, especially with this information. I don't work with men, but I do work with women, and giving them the information that's going to free them from the diet culture and the continuous cycles. So the first thing, I know I gave you guys you ladies, I'm sorry, I don't like to use the guys, so I might have to correct that a couple of times, but I did I did send you ladies the syllabus. And the first thing that we're going to go over is becoming aware of your core beliefs. Now, do you ladies understand? Do you know what core beliefs are? Like I said, I'm going to be asking questions, and I just want you guys to feel free and open, to communicate with me. This is a non-judgment zone. If you don't know, you just don't know. But the more you guys engage, the better I am to be able to answer questions and be able to pinpoint and help you the best way that I can. Okay, so do any of you, do either one of you ladies understand what core beliefs are?
Yes, I know. Well, I have an idea what they are.
Okay.
It's like the belief that you believe at your core, like your I call it like the wallpaper in your mind, the things you filter decisions through.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. So your core beliefs, exactly what you said, they're going to be those deep rooted beliefs that you feel about yourself, no matter how much you try or try to put something else in there somewhere. They sorry about that. They have a tendency to take over. So during this lesson, we will be going over the importance of becoming aware of your limiting core beliefs, okay, and the effect it has on you in your journey. Okay, we'll also take some time to go over techniques to bring them to the surface, as well as how you can begin to work on transforming those limiting beliefs into prosperous and transformative beliefs. Okay. Now, what are limiting core beliefs? Okay, so limiting core beliefs, they're negative beliefs they're negative beliefs you have regarding yourself. Okay, negative beliefs you have regarding your journey. Any beliefs that are preventing you from being the very best version of you. They're also a lie. They're your ego's way of protecting you. Okay. So when I say this, a lot of people are like, what do you mean that your ego's way of protecting? Because the first thing you think of, well, I know the first thing I think of when I think of ego, I think about Beyonce's song, You Got a Big Ego. Right. But it is so much more than just that. So your ego is there to only do one thing, and it is to keep things the same. That's why, and it's not a bad thing, because in some instances it can help, but when it becomes a problem when it has to deal with something that you are trying to change. Then your ego kind of gets in the way of it, and it's not about getting rid of your ego by any means. It's about learning how to understand it. Okay, that's what you're and creating that balance. Okay, so now what causes limiting core beliefs? What has caused, so since you ladies know what limiting core beliefs are, what do you feel that's caused some of your limiting core beliefs?
I think I come from a neglective past. I had a mother who was overwhelmed and no patience. And I think that I realized that recently, like 6-7 months ago, that my core belief or my wallpaper came from the things that she would say to me when I was a little girl. So that's where my stuff came from. And then my different experience in school and stuff. I had a little bullying going on when I was little. So yeah, that definitely where my core beliefs came from.
Same here. I've experienced the same thing. What about you, Giovanna?
Yeah, a lot of it starts from youth too, and I think there was a lot of confusing messages that I got. So, when I said I would be, so with my friends in the neighborhood I grew up in, I grew up around a lot of white girls and a lot of Latin women who are just naturally smaller. So I would be the big friend when I went around them, but then when I would go to my parents' hometown and be with a black crowd and a black group and be with my cousins, I wasn't the big person around them. I was not slim, but I was smaller to them. And it was just a lot of confusing messages. Just similar stuff we always hear, like you have to look a certain way or be a certain way to get dates or get
exactly
men and things like that. So that's where a lot of mine comes from. I'm at the point now where it's like, oh, I don't even want to go out and date or even try new things until I lose this weight. And it's like holding me back.
Yeah, we gonna break that.
Yes.
I'm give you guys some information so you guys will start working on that for sure. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over a few things that also cause limiting core beliefs as well, aside from the ones that you ladies have stated. One is going to be trauma. Now, I want to make it clear that trauma does not have to be physical abuse, okay? Trauma can also be, as Giovanna said, a thought process that has been implemented and that you now believe, okay? It also can be or upbringing. Our upbringing as well can also cause limiting core beliefs. Self neglect can also be the cause. Disconnect from self can also be the cause. Others' input or reflection of their core belief. Okay, so it's others' input. Okay, so everybody else's. So as both of you have stated. So now, how do we pinpoint limiting core beliefs? Okay, so there are a couple of techniques that you can utilize to pinpoint your core beliefs. One of them would be shadow work. Do any of you have you ever tried it, or do you know, or have you ever heard of shadow work?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay. Have you ever utilized it?
A little bit.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of information. So shadow work is it just gives you a deeper understanding of how and why you feel the feelings you feel. Okay, so it's nothing, it gives you that ability to actually go a little bit deeper and really understand. And I'll go a little bit in more detail in the next lesson as well as to why and how you do it, but I just want to give you a little bit of information about that. Okay, so another way how to pinpoint your limiting core beliefs. I teach my client through a letter writing technique. Okay, and then going through the process of cutting the energetic tie or cord. Now, what I mean by this now, to just go into a little bit detail about the letter writing technique and why it can be useful, is because, for one, sometimes the person that has implemented or has caused that limiting core belief, if it is another individual, and I'll go into more detail in regards to that, but they might not be there. They might not be around. Then you might not be able to speak to them to really express how you feel. And with the letter technique, you can actually go step by step, go back into that point in time that has triggered that limiting core belief and actually release yourself through that process. This is going to be on the not so logical side. And a lot of individuals like to think logic. But we have to understand that we are, as individuals, as mind, body, and spirit. Okay, so energy is real. I know you guys have felt it before. You know how you've been around somebody and you just ain't feeling them. That's energy. So just like with anything else, you can definitely release yourself through that process. If that individual is not around, I have done it. I've given it to my clients. What really truly is the effect and how it can affect is being emotionally into it. Okay, so you have to really go into that letter writing, not just like, okay, this happened and blah, blah, blah. You have to really connect and really remember the situation that you had dealt with and really put your energy into it. So you can, when you do discard of the letter, whether it be of just throwing it away, whether it be ripping it up, whether it be burning it, that will be the form of release. Okay. The other how to pinpoint your limiting core beliefs also can be a higher self conversation, inner perspective. That's all that is inner perspective. Actually taking some time and sitting with yourself. I have had multiple thousands now consultations with individuals who have literally told me, and I've asked them questions, about have you actually sat down with yourself and had a conversation with self? And a lot of people will tell me no. Really shutting down everything and really just sitting there and being honest with yourself and asking yourself these questions that you would expect someone else to ask you to figure out what your limiting core beliefs. I've literally sat down and really said my name, Laura, what is going on? We feel like we can't talk to ourselves. We can't, we're constantly thinking, but we feel like we can't actually go within and tap into our inner self and really talk to ourselves. We just feel like that's just off limits, but it is not. And it definitely does work. Okay. Now, how do we go through the process of eliminating core beliefs? Okay, so I want you to know this. It's very important to understand that your beliefs are stored in your subconscious mind. Okay, your subconscious mind communicates through repetition. It is impacted through deeply affected or instances of trauma, okay, or emotional spike. So when you're trying to change these, you are going to combat them with the same actions, okay? So I'll go give you guys some examples. I'll give you ladies a few examples. So one of those ways that you can eliminate your core beliefs, I am a firm believer, and I still say mine still to this day, is going to be affirmations. How many of you, how many have you ladies used affirmations before?
Yes.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Both of Tasha, both you as well, both of you?
Yes.
Okay, so let me know how your experience has been with them, Tasha.
Good. When I'm on track, I'll do them. I have them written down in the notepad in my phone. And because I was doing this challenge last month where when we wake up, well, throughout the day, we have to do at least 30 minutes of meditation. So I try to get at least 15 minutes in before I get out of bed. And then I would do my, I'll read my affirmations that I wrote in my phone. And I think with me, it helps me tap into, like you said, like your inner power and like talking to yourself, like I can do this. And just having that thought in my head or saying those words make me remember that, hey, you got some goals you're trying to reach. Because I'm about to turn 40 next year. So I want to have a body goal by then. And it just kind of like sets my course. Like, hey, you have goals you need to reach and you got to do the work to do it. So that's how they help me.
Awesome. And what about you, Giovanna?
I just started a few new ones. It's just, again, my issue is always consistency. Like I'll do it for a week or maybe two.
Okay. And we'll go into as far as being consistent. So, and you know, I want to take a moment just to express something before we go any further. Now, I'm probably going to say this a couple of times. Your journey of creating new habits and becoming a better version of you needs to be just as important as you would take a 9-to-5 or a job or even taking care of somebody, okay? You have to make this a priority. And I'll go into detail. I know a lot of us struggle with making ourselves a priority, so we will go over that as well. But I really want you ladies to understand, I still utilize, if not majority, of these techniques on a daily basis. These techniques are literally maintenance. So like with a car, if you want your car to run properly, you got to keep it maintenance. Okay. So you need to think of it just in the same as your journey, in the same lines as that. Okay. Because soon as you back up off of them and you see that they're working, or if you haven't yet, it's because you haven't utilized it enough. But if you see that they're working, it's something that you need to continue with. It's not something that you can, you know how that you go online and something like do this for 30 days and you'll be good. No. Okay. That is so true. It's not even funny. Those are what they call clout chasers. Okay. They're lying. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I still do my visualization techniques that I'll go over, my affirmations that I go over. I do those on a daily basis. Now, this is why. Okay. Now, a lot of people are like, well, if you've done the healing, or if you've been able to do this, or, you know, this is why I have been able to be consistent. It's because I'm consistent with this part, not because of, you know, everything else that comes with it. It's just like if you are consistent with this aspect, everything else just lines up automatically. This is the key. This is what you need to take serious. All that other will come. The nutrition will come. The working out will come, but it won't come until you make this your main priority. This is what's important. Okay. And I get real passionate. So it's not that I'm fussing at y'all, but I get real passionate about this because I know the severity of it and the importance of it. Okay. So now the other thing is going to be visualization, okay, just like I spoke upon. Now that's going to be the emotion, okay, and symbolism. Now remember, I'm going to go back to what I said before. Your subconscious mind, okay, this is what you're transforming, that those subconscious thoughts, those are what you're working on transforming, okay? Your subconscious mind communicates through repetition. It is impacted or affected by instances of trauma or emotional spike. Okay, let me let someone in. Sorry about that. And then it's sorry, let me go back to my spot and get back to my, let me see. Your subconscious mind communicates through repetition and is impacted deeply and affected by instances of trauma and emotional spike and reacts off of symbols. Okay. So these things, since you know that this is how your subconscious mind picks up things and remembers things, these are some of the things that you're going to need to use in order to transform them to those other thoughts. Does that make sense? On the same page, ladies? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All righty. Welcome, Ms. Price. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so now, hi, how are you? Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next one is going to be objects, okay? And a lot of people haven't utilized this one, and just like we said, just like I told you, the subconscious mind communicates through symbols, and this is what's going to be replaced. This is what's going to be signified as your symbol, objects. So these are objects that will trigger your subconscious, reminding you of your path, assisting you with staying on track. So for example, I'll just use this as an example, a cross, which is a symbol and that triggers thoughts of faith or which triggers thoughts of faith, right? So you are going to want to get a symbol, some type of symbol. I don't care what it is. It has to mean something for you. Okay. So an object that is going to, every time you see it, it's going to trigger you of whatever it is of that thought that you're wanting to transform. So whether it is, we'll just use, I'm not worthy, and you're transforming that thought of being worthy. Find an object that energetically moves you into the focus of being worthy, okay? You have to use all three. The affirmation portion, which is going to be your repetition. And honestly, ladies, when it is, you have to think of it like this. When I talk to my clients, I tell them all the time, I ask them how they're like, Laura, I'm saying my affirmations, and I say, okay, so something should be shifting. We've been working for 30 days. Something should be shifting. How long are you reciting your affirmations? And they're like, oh, well, I say them in the morning when I wake up about one time. And then when I come home, I say them one time, then I'm done. No. How serious are you about this? How invested are you about changing your thoughts? Because if you are really, you're going to be doing a lot more time, spending more time on that aspect than just one time in the morning reciting them and one time in the evening, because that is not going to help them stick. And you want me to tell you why? Because this has been years of you feeling and thinking this way. How do you expect that 5 minutes a day is going to transform that thought? Honestly, let's be realistic. Let's honestly be realistic. It's not going to work. I say my affirmations, ladies. I do a 30-minute to 45-minute walk every day. And when I'm doing my walk, I say my affirmations back to back to back to back for that whole time. For the whole time. Okay? So I strongly suggest that you figure out a portion of time that you can commit to. If you are serious about this, you will do the work for your healing process, ladies, but you have to take the step. It is not like magic. I'm not giving you no magic here. Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do and how to do it. It's not going to be magic. It's going to take time, but you have to take the step. Whether that is setting a reminder on your phone to remind you that you need to go ahead and do your affirmation and setting out a specific time. Okay, whether it is on your way driving to work and you got a 20-minute, ride, turn off the music and say your affirmations. Okay, whether it's, I don't know how long you take a shower or a bath, whether it's that time, whatever it is, it needs to be longer than a few minutes saying them one time, a morning and night. Okay. All right. So I already went over the objects. Okay. So find an object that will correlate with what you're wanting, that will trigger that thought. Because again, that's how your subconscious picks up things, symbols, repetition, and an emotional spike. Okay. The emotional spike is through your visualization. Now, when you're doing your visualization, it's not just closing your eyes and seeing. Matter of fact, you really don't even have to close your eyes. Okay, that's totally up to you. So don't let anybody tell you that you have to do that. It's what feels comfortable to you. Okay, so this is this is going to be this is going to how you connect with your subconscious mind by transforming it emotionally. You're going to visualize, and when I say visualize, you're going to visualize as already being there and being so. Yeah, Delvonda, you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question about the objects, but I don't want to interrupt you when you're talking about visual.
Okay, so as soon as I finish this part, then I'll go ahead and go back to the object, okay? So now, and the visualization, so this is gonna connect you emotionally to whatever it is, the thought that you're wanting to transform, okay? So when it's important when you're doing your visualization that you're connecting emotionally. I want you to put yourself in those shoes. I want you to feel how it's going to feel whatever you're wanting to transform. So for example, worthy. I just keep bringing this up because I know that's one of the things that I felt, not worthy. Worthy. So how does it feel? How do you feel being in that, being worthy? What does that look like to you? What does it feel like to you? Connect emotionally. There have been times, sometimes when I did visualization and I got emotional in tears. So if it takes you to that, you need to connect emotionally, okay? Sometimes I do a visualization and I'm about to jump out my skin out of excitement. Connect. It's important for you to connect that emotion to your visualization. That is the key, okay? When you're doing your visualization, it's not if I'm going to be there. No. You need to see yourself there. You need to see yourself as that individual, as you see yourself conquering. If it's conquering and achieving, then you need to see yourself already there in that position and feel the way that it is going to feel. How you feel that, or how you know that it's going to feel, or how you desire it to feel. You need to feel that and connect that emotion. Okay? Now, go ahead, Ms. Giovanna. What was your question?
Yeah, I was just the object. Is it something that we carry with us, or could you give us an example?
Yes. So it could be, and I wanted to go, I had a couple other things to say about it. Let me finish it up and then I'll go ahead and say, so I'm going to go back to the object. So when I said, I gave you guys a cross, and that symbols and triggers thoughts of faith, okay? Or as simple, or something simple as a pencil, which triggers the thought of school or riding. The emotion could be different for everyone depending on the emotion that has been attached to it. This is proof that the object you choose is personal to you. So it's whatever object you want it to be. Okay, so if it is something that it could be, and it doesn't have to, if you want to take it with you, yes, if you feel like it needs to always be with you, if you spend most of the time outside the house, then I suggest that it be with you. If you're always at your desk, at work, then I suggest it be there. If you're at home most of the time, then let it be at home. So wherever you spend most of your time, that's where I suggest that it is. Okay.
Copy. Thank you.
Awesome. And you don't need to explain it to anybody. Okay. I'm real big on energy and people's thoughts, and I don't sit right with me. You don't have to explain it to nobody. This needs to be special to you, and you only your energy needs to be on it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the other thing, eliminating core beliefs. So the other thing you can utilize is mirror work. Now, this is going to be emotional. So again, your subconscious mind communicates through emotions. Okay, so this is going to be emotional. Mirror work. Mirror work is something super simple that you can use. You can do this for however amount of time that you want to utilize it. I used to do it about 10 minutes or so. And this is actually just looking at yourself. You know how many times we walk past the mirror and don't even look at ourselves? We don't even look at ourselves. Don't want to, or feel like we don't, shame, or whatever the case may be. Spend some time looking at you and that individual who is looking back at you in that mirror. Okay. Scripting. This is going to connect you emotion. It's going to be emotion and repetition. This is going to be similar to visualization, but it's going to consist of you actually writing. Okay. So we're actually writing out that mind change, that mental shift that you have, that you have gotten rid of, that limiting core belief. So scripting it out, stating how you feel at this moment. And doesn't matter if you are going through it right now. This is something that you are transforming. Okay, so you are writing it as if it is already so. Okay. Now, the next thing is going to be to experiment. So a lot of us we're doing everything else, but we're not doing the experiment portion of it. We aren't connecting that. And this is going to affect the emotional part. So we're not doing the experiment part of it. And I'm going to give you an example. Okay. So one of my limiting core beliefs was that, and this is something very simple, just so you ladies can understand. My limiting core beliefs that I could not have ice cream in the house without eating the whole thing. Okay. And like I said, this is on a lower level. You guys, this can be plenty of limiting core beliefs. So, and I would eat the whole thing literally. So I started working on that process that I am in control over the food that I eat. I am in control of the food that I eat. Okay. So first I identified what that limiting core belief was. Then I went ahead and started using it, following it with affirmations. Then I also used visualization as the situation already as so that I have more control over the food that I chose to eat. As time went on, then I was like, you know what? Let me see if I've gotten the hang of this. Okay. I didn't jump off the ledge. I did take precaution. So I went out, and instead of usually when I go out to eat ice cream, I would get the big large one. I was like, let me see if I can just get the small one and be okay. Because a lot of the times we have it in our mind, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the small one. As soon as we get there, we get the biggest one. Okay. So I was like, let me see if I could do this. So I went into the store, went in to go get the ice cream, and I only got the small cup. I was satisfied. It was good. Okay. So then I said, okay, well, since I was able to do that, let me do another experiment. Let me see if these things that I'm doing are working. Okay, let me see. Because then you can start believing and trusting in the work that you're doing. But you have to experiment with it, otherwise you will never know. Sometimes we fall, okay? But that doesn't mean that it's over. You get back up and you continue to keep pushing, and you're just not ready yet, okay? So now, then I went ahead and was like, okay, well, I'm gonna buy some ice cream and I'm gonna actually keep it in my house. So what did I do? I bought the ice cream. I went ahead and kept it in my house, and I didn't even bother the ice cream. And it was like the whole week had went past, and I still had that ice cream, okay? So this is, and this is honest truth. This is how you transform it. Okay. You have to go ahead and do the experiments to understand to give you that confidence that the work that you're doing is working, so you can continue to utilize these things. Otherwise, you'll just be like, to hell with it. It ain't working, because you'll never know. You never even tested yourself out to see. Okay. So take the chances to go ahead and take those little steps to see if you can. And then I promise you, if you're doing these things that you're actually writing down, ladies, I promise you without a shadow of a doubt, it is, again, I'm going to remind you, it takes time, it takes work. But if you are incorporating in a daily regimen, okay, this part, not what I'm going to eat today, what I'm going to work out today, this part, including it in the daily regimen, everything else will follow. This is my statement. You transform your mind, your body will align. But it starts with the mental aspect. Okay. Hello, Natasha. How you doing?
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. All righty, ladies. So we're gonna move. We're gonna go ahead and move forward. If you ladies aren't speaking, or if you don't mind muting your mic, so there's no echo on this end. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so the next one is going to be being conscious, okay? And what do I mean by being conscious? I mean being conscious and realizing what you're listening to and what you're entertaining. What you're listening to and what you're entertaining. And why is this? Why does anybody know why this is going to be an important one?
It influences.
Oh yeah, influences.
I just told you how the subconscious mind picks things up. Right? But then we're watching this BS, and we're constantly listening to all this stuff. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. One thing I do is just keep it 100 all the way real, and I'm not sugarcoating anything. Again, people, is it that serious? Yes, it's that serious. It is that serious. Okay. What are you entertaining yourself with majority of the day? And that's not just even TV and things that you're listening to. What what type of conversations are you entertaining? What kind of people are you entertaining? Are you entertaining drama? Are you entertaining fear? Are you entertaining all of this? I don't watch the news. My TV doesn't come on except for occasionally on the weekends. And when it is, it's a movie or something like that. I don't even have cable. Not that you guys have to do that. Okay, I'm not saying that. Okay, so don't take that, but I'm just letting you know what I am doing. Okay, so most of my time has been spent and will continue to be spent in gaining knowledge and understanding and the importance of being a better me at the end of the day. That is what I pour into. Okay, and that is me by choice. And I know that it has helped me and kept me and make sure that I stayed in alignment with my overall desires. I don't have to worry about being concerned about the diet part because it flows. And now I'm going to go in detail about that just a little bit and slightly, but it flows. It makes it that much more easier. Again, it's been 6 years for me. Okay, so it's not, I'm clearly, what I'm saying is working. Okay, so being conscious of what you're feeding your subconscious mind, your energy, the people you're around and things like that, just being conscious of it. Now I am going to go over again how to set those healthy boundaries. So we will go in detail about that, so don't even worry, but definitely being conscious of things like that, okay? So how do you know if you're making progress with eliminating the core beliefs, the limiting core beliefs, okay? Your energy will increase or has shifted, okay? No longer self-sabotaging. You're inspired. Your priorities begin to change. Your confidence level increases. Trusting in your journey and yourself. And you're attracting more positive experiences. Okay? So, how many of you are familiar with, let me see. Lose my spot. Hold on 1 second, ladies. Okay, how many of you are familiar with our energy sources that go through our body? They're considered as they call them chakras. Is anybody familiar with chakras?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was that?
No.
Okay.
Natasha.
Okay, Natasha said yes. Who else said yes?
No, Natasha
Tasha.
said no.
Oh, Tasha said yes. Natasha said no. Anybody else? Okay, so let me go over it. So now, our chakra system are basically just energy points that are in our body, okay? They go from head to toe, okay? And those energy points hold certain energies. You can do your research, okay? I want you to do your research, okay? Don't just take it from me. Anything that I say, I want you to do your research for. I do not mind at all. And one of the areas that we hold a lot of our limiting core beliefs is going to be in our sacral chakra. Okay, so if you have a pen, I asked in the beginning for you ladies to get pen and paper so you take some notes. So I want you to write that down, the sacral chakra. And what I suggest is that you take some time to really understand why you hold a lot of those beliefs and what it has to do with, that energy that you're keeping within that area. And some of the things that I know that has helped with me has definitely been a balancing of that chakra. And that's something that I would suggest you ladies look into. Okay. I usually did it. There's also there's some things that you can utilize also is going to be sound healing. Okay, I don't know if you ladies are familiar with that, but also sound healing. Sound healing affects your energy. Okay, it affects your energy. Okay, we are all human beings. Okay, with the creator, we all have energy within us. Okay, these things that you're dealing with is stagnant energy and thought processes. Okay, and it needs to be moved around and shifted. So when you have a minute, please look up sound healing. Okay, one of the sound healings that's going to help with you with the limiting core beliefs process is going to be 396 hertz. It's 396 Hz. I would suggest if you have some time, 5 to 10 minutes of listening to it a day. It could be before bed. It could be when you wake up, whatever you choose to do. But I would definitely say consider it. Okay. All right. So a book I would like you ladies to that will definitely help in this area is going to be The Power is Within You. The Power is Within You. You can do an audio. It's on audio, but it's called The Power is Within You, and the author's name is Louise Hay.
Say the author's name.
Louise Hay. So that's Louis and last name Hay.
Can you repeat that, Laura?
Absolutely. Louise Hay. Louis as in Sam, H, A as in apple, Y as in yo-yo. Okay. All righty. So we're going to move on. We're going to move on to getting to the root and healing your trauma. Okay. All righty, ladies. So during this lesson, we will be going over the importance of getting to the root of your troubles and how to heal so we are able to finally let go of that pain, doubt, anger, and fear that we have held onto for so long. This will allow us to break free and no longer be distracted, placing us in the position to focus 100% on ourselves and our journey. Okay. Has everybody in here experienced trauma, or has anybody?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Thank you for the thumbs up. Tasha has. Okay. So now, what causes trauma? Okay, so was that Natasha? Natasha?
Yes.
Do you mind speaking?
Yes, I can speak.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Will you let us know what you feel caused your trauma?
I would say, for lack of a better phrase, neglect.
That's one of them I have in here. Yes, ma'am. That's a big one. That is definitely a big one. That's something that I definitely experienced, and that and abandonment. Yeah, exactly. Any of you other ladies would be willing to let anyone know, and and I'm gonna say, because a couple of you weren't in here. Everybody in here is on a journey, or has been on a journey, or is going through a journey, and what you say, you have just like with the last class, I got so many different messages from individuals stating, just from other ladies speaking, because they knew that they weren't alone. Okay, so even if I would really appreciate if you ladies would like to speak up. Just know it's a safe place. Okay, so does anybody else have any experience with trauma?
Yes, with me, it was definitely abandonment, and then some inappropriate things happened that I wasn't able to talk to the person that I should have been able to talk to, which is my mother. Mm-hmm. So just not having nobody to speak to about what was going on. So I guess that's abandonment.
Yeah.
Within a relationship I just got out of.
Definitely. So with myself, I have experienced abandonment, neglect, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, deaths, and that can also be a traumatic experience for an individual, especially if it's someone that was very close to you and you had a bond with. Okay. A couple of other ones that we haven't mentioned could be even forced relocation, incarceration, serious illness, witnessing acts of violence. So if you've witnessed someone, any kind of just any violence, if you've witnessed it, that can also be a form of trauma. Just like I said before, ladies, even a trauma can be a thought process that has been implemented within you. Okay, so it doesn't have to be physical. Okay, it can also be emotional. All righty. Okay, so the importance of getting to the root. Okay, the importance of getting to the root. Now, let me see. Welcome, Lynn. How are you? Alrighty, so the importance of getting to the root. Okay, so the root is the exact, so just like anything, and I always give this analogy, just like with a weed. Okay, you can, try to get a weed, try to get a weed, but if you don't get it from the root, it will continue to grow. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that you are getting to the root. Okay, so the reason why is because it will help you release the past. Okay, it will provide you with empowerment because you were actually able to resolve and heal from it. Okay, it will give you more clarity and realization. All right, know where to begin your healing process. It'll give you the information of where you're going to begin your healing process, because if you're not, a lot of people say, I want to heal, I want to heal, I want to heal. And I'm like, do you know what the root is? Do you know what that emotion is where it derived from? Where did you pick it up from? Sometimes it could be childhood. Sometimes it could be, just years and years ago. It just depends on each individual. We just carry, it's not the situation we so much carry, it's the emotion that's attached to it and that's affecting us currently. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ladies actually done some diving on the root causes of your traumas?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. And have you started working on that aspect?
Yeah.
Awesome. So would you say that is possible so we can give some hope to some individuals?
Yes, it's possible. It takes a lot of work. It it's very, I don't know, I could say like soul shaking kind of. It's gonna knock you off like your balance for real. So I think it's what you said about the shadow work, the letter writing, the visualization, affirmation, the object. Like I didn't think about the object, but I'm gonna add that in the mirror. And the scripting, like you have to have those things in place, because I think it's going to be, when I first started the journey, it was easy for me to go back to the binge eating, because I used to be up till 4 o'clock in the morning, eating. So it's just, when you start tapping into those emotions, it's going to be over. I cry a lot, not as much now but when I first started into therapy, I was crying. I had a journal. I started making bracelets at nighttime, doing arts and crafts at night, and writing and visualization. Yeah. So yeah, it's possible. It's going to be hard and it's going to be painful. It's very soully painful. Okay, it's possible. It's possible to pull yourself out of that state. It takes a lot of work.
She's absolutely right. Absolutely right. I'm sure a lot of you are, know my story, but I've struggled with depression, binge eating, emotional eating. And I'm going to say this again. This is what you make your priority. Not the food, not the scale, not the water, not the vitamins, none of that. This is what you make your priority. And then everything else just aligns. It falls into place. I promise you. Promise you. Now, during this, I will give you some helpful nutrition tips because I know that plays a part. But this is the core of it. This is what you work on a daily basis. Because what happens is, even when I start working with individuals, although I do help them on the nutrition aspect, this is the priority of it all. Even when we do our sessions, this is the priority part of it, because I know how important this aspect is. And then when you are thinking about what I'm gonna eat, what I'm gonna do, you're thinking about everything else, what I'm gonna work out, what you're thinking about, all of that, it offsets this. It doesn't make this, you go back into that mindset of just focusing on your weight. Has that helped you before? So why do we continue to do the same things over and over again and expecting different results? That's insanity. So if it hasn't worked before 100%, why wouldn't you try something, focus on something else? Okay, so just think about that. So how to safely reveal your trauma. This could be triggering, okay? So just before I go into it, this part could be triggering. How to safely reveal your trauma. Okay, so the first way I have is without judgment. Without judgment. There's a lot of things that we have gone through or dealt with, and it's always, what did I do? Why me? Why me? It's the first thing, one of the couple of first things. Without judgment. Okay.
Can you clarify that? Yeah, say that one more time, please.
Without judgment. Uh-oh. If you have your mic on, you can mute it, please, Miss Lynn. I think your mic is on, ma'am. So it's not an echo. Thank you. Without judgment. So what I mean by without judgment, you are not judging yourself. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna have to mute. I'll mute it. Okay. So without judgment, so you don't want to project all of that, this incidents or the trauma or what, you don't want to project it back on you. So what did I do? You know, why me? This is bad that I'm thinking this. I shouldn't even, I shouldn't be doing, going towards that side of it. So judging yourself in that situation. You don't want to go towards that side. So without judgment. Okay, and I'm going to go in a little bit more detail in regards to that too. Okay, in the next section. So without judgment. Open and honestly transparent. Being open and honestly transparent. So what I mean by being open and honestly and honestly and transparent with yourself, and really being okay with stating that this is something that I'm dealing with. Because a lot of the times we are made to feel like we're damaged because we've had trauma, or you're not worthy, or a couple of other different things. But you want to go into it with just being honest and letting it be okay that you're being totally transparent with yourself. You're also going to do it with love. Okay, so being kind to yourself. That same, and then we do that a lot. It's like we can motivate somebody else and encourage others, but we won't do it for ourselves. We won't do it for ourselves, and it's very important to align the same things. And I don't care if it's even I, for a while, I had to literally write it down and read it. Okay, sometimes it takes that to actually write it down, what my trauma is or whatever the case may be. And then I'm approaching this with love, and I love you, Lord. I had to write myself a letter. Okay, so sometimes it might take that. Sometimes it will not just take you just sitting there and just thinking about it. I say writing everything down. I have like books like this everywhere, like these tabs and stuff. I have them everywhere, literally. So get you some, because it's going to be well worth it with actually writing things down. That's like just with school, when the teacher always wants you to write something down because you receive it at better. And again, you know how the subconscious mind picks things up. So definitely, even if you have to write it, try that as well. Okay, so how to heal. How are we going to heal? How are we going to heal through our trauma? Okay, this is a big one. All right, so the first one that I have, open up about it. Open up about it. Has anybody talked to anybody about their trauma? I won't go into detail, just if you have.
No.
No? Okay. Definitely open up about it. Yeah? Okay, definitely open up about it. Whether you have somebody that you really trust, that you know that you can talk to, whether you, a lot of my clients, they are going to therapy, and then they also work with me as well. So having someone to actually open up that line of communication and assist in that process, because although I am a firm believer that it can be done, I'm a believer that it can be done. You can do it yourself. And I'll go over a technique that you can utilize for that aspect of it. But I would be a lie if I said that a lot of individuals struggle with doing it by themselves. And sometimes you just need that, someone to be there, for that aspect of it. Because not just anybody, somebody you trust, okay, somebody you definitely trust, and that understands, is not going to be pointing the finger to give you the wrong, because sometimes we open up to the wrong people and they give you the wrong advice. Okay, so really trusting yourself in who you're opening up to, okay? Also is going to be a tool to actually, and I have actually, it depends on the individual, because sometimes the trauma that we have gone through, that individual is no longer around. So that is where, again, the letter technique will actually assist in that aspect. The one that I went through in the beginning with actually writing out the traumatic event and actually getting yourself back into that emotion. And that is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, and you are going to be emotional, and I understand it. I have done it multiple times because there's multiple situations that I have dealt with. And I've also utilized actually speaking to that individual that have participated in the trauma. Okay. That is a huge breakthrough. It's more effective than a lot of people can probably even imagine. Okay. It is a breakthrough. Why? Because you already feel like you're in chains because you haven't been able to let it out. Okay. So that is number one, to open up about it and release it. Actually let it out and express yourself. If the environment is safe. If this individual, that, for example, the individual that molested me, I did not go speak to that individual. Okay, that is something that I'd use the letter technique for. If the environment is safe, just keep in consideration of that, and that it's not going to be even more toxic. So if you're easily offended, because those individuals might not receive it like you desire it to, and that's another thing I'm going to go over as far as expecting them to be remorseful, because everybody's not going to be remorseful for the stuff that they did. You have to remember too, ladies, that we are all products of our environment. So even that individual, and this is a part of the healing process, you have to come to this realization that even the individual that participated within your trauma, whether that be a thought process that was implemented by a parent, whether that is a situation you have gone through with an individual, they are a product of their environment as well. They probably I know for a fact, if they projected any kind of trauma on you, they have some trauma that they need to deal with. Okay? So once you come to that realization and accept that, truly accept that, then that alone will help with that process of being free from it on different levels. So just keep that in mind. That same hurt or something that somebody's projected on you has nothing to do with you. You didn't do nothing. That's something that they are dealing with. You project, just like with the trauma that you might be dealing with. Have you seen how it has affected other parts of your life? Right? So think of that. Keep that in mind. Okay. One of my favorite ones, okay, on a lighter, let's get to a little lighter. Oh, no, before we go there, cord cutting meditation. And this involves visualization and emotion. So cord cutting. So this is on the energetic level. Okay, so energetic level, a cord is connected between you and that individual that has participated in your trauma. You do a visualization and a meditation that you are finally cutting and releasing, cutting the cord, and you have let that go. Okay, remember the thing that will assist and help in this process is actually believing. If you don't believe in it, then I say don't even go that route, okay? Because it's going to take you to actually believe that this process is so, and it will help. You have to connect the emotion. Remember, how does our subconscious pick up things? Emotion. I'm always going to go back to that, okay? So our subconscious picks up things through emotion, symbols, and a spike. I'm sorry, emotions, symbols, and what was the other thing? Does anybody remember? I lost my train of thought. Anybody write it down? Symbols, emotion. in repetition.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why it's important for you guys to continue to repeat your processes. These are the maintenance process. Now, after you heal, you don't have to go down that path. Okay. You don't have to go down that process again. Now it's time to keep it maintained. How do you keep it maintained? With your meditation to help make sure that you're staying balanced. With your affirmations to make sure that your mindset is in the right place. That is your maintenance. So once you have done your healing process, you don't have to go back down that healing process again. You have letting it go, you have released it, and that's where it needs to stay. You maintain that level with the tools of meditation, affirmation, visualization. That makes sense? Let me know if I'm moving too fast too, ladies. I want you, let me know.
You're right, perfect speed.
Okay.
This is deep for sure.
Yes. Yes. I came to drop some jewels for you ladies. Okay. I wasn't playing. Okay. So now, the other one that I love is the spiritual bath. Okay. And I'll give you guys a little bit of information about this. Now, spiritual bath can consist of whatever you feel energetically connected to that gives you, remember those symbols? That means those things that you are trying to accomplish. So if it is, loving you, what type of flowers make you feel that energy? Put that in there. Okay. What type of one, a good one, what I use is the fragrance, and it's Florida water. Okay, I use that. Okay, it's just a form of cleansing. Okay, we've been using it ancient times, forever. Okay, it's just a form of cleansing your energy and your spirits and starting anew. I do mine almost once a month. It make me feel good. Every time I get out of there, I feel replenished. Okay, so whatever you want to put in it, it could be herbs, it could be cinnamon, it could be whatever you desire. I do mine with the whole setup. Candles, you know, that's also a form of self-love and pouring into you. You know, you see those beautiful little baths and stuff with flowers floating in and everything like that. It's all energy, ladies. So just again, remember to be connected to it, and play some music, something that's going to get you in the zone. Okay. After you have done that letting go process, I suggest you do a spiritual bath. So after you've done that meditation of letting go or cutting the cord or whatever, you let it out, you finally got that off of you, do the spiritual bath to come new. Okay, you've letting it go, you're cleansing that energy off of you, you starting new. Okay. The next thing, how to heal. Remember, I went over that in the beginning. Forgive. So this is one of the hardest things that I had to do, was the forgiving part, because of the situations or how I felt and was made to feel in so many different occasions with individuals. But the forgiving part is necessary. Even when you're writing, if you decide to use the letter technique, make sure you are forgiving that individual within your letter. Okay? Actually forgiving them. And again, it's important for you to get emotionally into this letter. Connect your emotions to it. Okay? Shadow work, as I went over in the beginning, so which is the process of clearing up and resolving the rejected parts of your personality and get them back into yourself. So you are able to go ahead to greater things, realizing nobody is to blame. Realizing nobody is to blame, very hard. That there is no enemy, just you coming to terms with the situations and realizing the pain and or anger that is attached. Seems hard, right? This is why so many struggle with the process. They never get through their healing. That is one of the main reasons. If you think I'm lying, ask some people. They can't let go. Cannot let go. They cannot let go. They cannot forgive. They cannot, if somebody's the enemy, somebody's to blame. When I just went through the process of hoping that will kind of ease your thoughts about it, kind of get you thinking in another direction, that they are a product of their own environment as well. They got some healing to do. They're dealing with their own trauma. Does it make it right? I'm not saying it makes it right. I'm not saying that. But you should come to terms with that thought process and that aspect. Okay. The next one is going to be surrender to the present. Accept the lesson to be learned from the old cycle and let it flow so you can be guided towards your desires. Surrender to the present moment. Accept the lesson to be learned from the old cycle and let it flow so you can be guided towards your desire. Now, I know a lot of people, they're like, what do you mean? Especially if I went through a molestation, what was the lesson there? What was the lesson there? And I'm going to be honest with you. The lesson there is my forgiving. Being able to forgive. That was my lesson. Everybody's lesson might be different, but that was my lesson. Okay? Don't got to make sense to nobody else. All that matters is what you feel your lesson was out of it. And I suggest you find one because it's going to help you in the end. It'll give you some.
Can I share something?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so with me, with my molestation when I was little, I tell, because I still have that little part, that little girl in me.
Mm-hmm.
So now as an adult, I let her know, like, look, I got this. Like, I protect us, I take care of us, I look out for us, and no one's gonna try anything inappropriate because I got us. So, and it took me a while to get to that point because I had history with men. I was out here, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, come to that lesson. I had to learn that lesson.
Yes, I agree. That's one of the things that I was going to go over too, as far as your inner child, because all of us have one. All of us have one. And when we're not giving our inner child that love that it has felt like it's lacked, or not paying attention because it didn't get the attention before, or it's still in that place of hurt and pain because of the situation, it needs to be tended to. And who better to tend to that inner child but you? Okay. And that's just simply, we overthink things and we overanalyze things, and you don't need to. That could be as simple as just sitting there and doing just like what Tasha said, and just telling that inner child, if you want to visualize yourself, that you can go into that part too, but just talking and letting your inner child know, like, I got you. I love you. If you've never done it, you don't know how effective it can be. So I definitely say, if you are something if that is anything that you're struggling with, that you definitely incorporate it. Okay. Get familiar with it because it does help. Okay. Does somebody want to say something? Here's somebody. Okay. So we're going to go forward. Okay. So important, create a daily ritual that you can use that assists with a process of healing. Okay. I already told you about mine. So I put a side note, let you ladies know what mine was. But again, this needs to be a daily thing. Okay. Ways to set it. Set an alarm to remind you before, so you don't forget. Make the time. We make time for everything else that we want to do. There should be no excuses at all whatsoever about your healing process. This needs to be serious. It needs to be serious. Okay. All righty. So now, how to know if you're making progress with your healing? You feel physically and energetically lighter. You're experiencing more alignment. Things are more at ease, less tension and strain. You're accepting right where you are in the moment. You have excitement, not easily distracted or affected by others. Clear mind, making decisions that align with your desire of being an even better you. And the one that nobody really likes to talk about, more things will come up that need to be fixed. Okay? They don't talk about it. Nobody really gonna tell you about it, but I'm gonna tell you. It's gonna be some more things. So just prepare. Okay? I told you that I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing, but I'm gonna be totally honest with you and transparent. There will be more. So you be prepared for it. And when I say learn to enjoy your process, that might be the hardest, that's one of the other hardest things to do. And it was going to be an emotional up and down thing, but I promise you, it gets easier the more and more you do it. I will say that part. It will get easier. You'll learn how to deal with them better. You won't be all like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? You'll know, you might say, damn, like, I just got done with this. Like, what is this? You might go there, but you'll remember, you're like, okay, I know exactly what to do. Let me, let me take a breath, let me take a moment. All right, I've done this. So I can maneuver through it. I'm gonna maneuver through it. Okay. What goes up must come down. Okay. There's always two sides. It's just the laws. It is what it is. But once you become aware of it and respect it and just appreciate it and really just enjoy, that's why I tell people all this time, be present. Be present. The only time you should spend time in the future is if you are creating it. The only time you need to be spending time in the past is if you are healing it. That's it. Otherwise, stay present. Embrace your present moments. Okay? So the material that's going to help with this whole process while you're going through this, with healing your trauma and everything, is going to be a book by Dr. Hawkins, Letting Go. So that's Dr. Hawkins, and it's Letting Go. And that also can be found on audio. Okay. Any questions before I move forward? No questions? We good?
No.
Y'all got your water? We still got some more. Okay. So now we're going to move on to heart unblocking and balance. Okay. Heart unblocking and balance. All right. So during this lesson, we will be going over the importance of unblocking your heart space. Unblocking your heart space will allow you to truly release and be at peace right where you are. Okay. The constant battle will be lifted. Everything will become more clearer. Once you go through the process of unblocking your heart, you will feel liberated, free from your past hardships, confident, clear, and the ability to trust again. By connecting with your heart space, heart chakra, okay, what I spoke about earlier, so write that down. You can do some research on that. You will be able to dissolve the old feelings of fear, shame, resentment, anger, and pain, and move forward in love and light. This will allow you to see that your experiences have been opportunities for you to grow and learn from. And those who had significant roles in those unforgettable experiences gave you a clear picture of your strength and abilities. It's time to take your life back. All righty. What is heart unblocking? Heart unblocking is releasing resentment, acceptance, the ability to grieve and reach peace without judgment, to gain compassion and empathy, gaining awareness, releasing anxiety, and forgiveness. What do you ladies feel that causes your heart to be blocked?
Experiences that the experiences that produce just those things that you said, fear or shame or resentment. It could be rejection. Rejection could cause you to have a blocked heart, going through a cycle over and over again in your relationships. And I don't mean just like male, female, like I don't mean that, I'm speaking from my perspective, right? But in relationships, a relationship is anyone who you are interacting with in your space, or you're in their space. So I think overall, things that experiences that you have in your relationships can create blocks.
Definitely. Anyone else?
Can you go over the definition again? I had a phone call that came through real fast. I had to get off of it. So I kind of missed like the definition of heart unblocking.
So what is heart unblocking? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. So it's the ability to releasing resentment, acceptance, the ability to grieve and reach peace without judgment, to gain compassion and empathy, gaining awareness, releasing anxiety, and forgiveness.
Thank you.
Okay. Give me 1 second, okay, ladies? Sorry about that. Somebody is trying to enter the class. Oh. Let's see. I think I can get the code from here. Invite. I have a question. Can someone do something for me, please? Who is on my my Facebook Messenger? Can you guys copy the link and send it to me so I can send it to someone on Facebook? Anyone?
On your messenger?
Yes, if you can copy the link and send it, because I'm on my laptop and I don't have it. Uh-oh. See? Really? Come on now, don't do this. What's going on? Thank you.
You have what you need, Laura?
No. All right. Am I going? Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay. Let's see. Thank you, Latasha. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Sorry for the intermission, ladies. Okay, something is glitching on my computer. Hold on 1 second. Oh my gosh, here we go. I don't know what's going on here. Can you ladies hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we see you and we hear you.
Okay, for some reason, my laptop is glitching. It's going in and out for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, ladies. Do me a favor. Oh, I don't want to do. Let me see. Do me a favor, and I'm gonna relog back in. If you ladies can come back, just click the link and then come back, and I'll let you ladies back in.
Sure.
Okay.
Stop recording if you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do. Pause it.